Hello and welcome to Jamie TV, streaming 100% live on YouTube. Can you say something to me in the chat and let me know that you can hear me okay? I'm seeing myself on the screen now. Have we got a chat? Did I activate the chat? I've not done this for a couple of months and it's surprising how quickly you forget. Can anyone let me know if we can... Are you hearing me okay? Have we got any people here even? Who am I talking to? Let's have a look. Hello, Ed. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you. Yes, you hear me. All right. And the chat is okay. Thank you, Audible. Volume is great. Oh, marvellous. Okay. I've got this question I put in the chat here and it's stopping me seeing some of it. I'm just closing it. Okay, so some of you have Mellowsound, some of you don't. Right, so the point of today is to... I've got a pop-up telling me that I'm live. I know, it's me, honestly. I just pressed the button. Okay, so the point of today is I want to do two things. I want to make a track very quickly and I'm going to do it inside of an hour. I can only do an hour, and also I want to give you a good idea of what Mellowsound is actually like, because it sort of came to my attention that a lot of people have downloaded the free version of Mellowsound but don't have the full thing, because you can download it for free, but to get all of the sounds and functions and everything, there is an in-app purchase. And that in-app purchase is not very much money. I can't remember how much it is. If anyone would like to check that for me, I'll be very grateful. I did have a look on AppSlice before I started this, but I couldn't see that it tells you how much the in-app purchases. Right, so what happens is this is Mellowsound in standalone mode, and when you buy it, I'm just checking my facts on screen here. Sorry, when you download the free version, you get flute, clarinet and sax to have a pissy pants around with, right? So let's have a quick look at them. Flute sounds like this. We have clarinet. And we have saxophone. All right, now there are some other features up here which we will have a look at in a moment. I'm just going to give you an idea of a couple more of the sounds. These are the ones that don't come free. We've got oboe and sad strings. This is a nice one. I like this. Let's have a D minor, the saddest of all keys. A violin ensemble. Now I may be scooting through all this quite quickly because I want to achieve a lot in one stream. I'm not going to try and give you an entire lowdown on every single detail of Mellowsound, just a really good idea of what you're getting if you pay for the in-app purchase. Right, we've got a viola. The cello is rather nice. Can I just say I hate playing this keyboard. I bought this keyboard because it was super cheap and I had this massive key station on my desk here taking up all of the room, and it was really kind of limiting. I love playing it. It's absolutely gorgeous to play. It's a wonderful old thing, but you know, I just wanted to get something smaller and have some more room to play with on the desk, and so I got this. It was super cheap. I got it for 30 quid with delivery because it's the original version of the MPK Mini. It's perfect for throwing in my bag. It's perfect for sort of taking on the road with me, taking out and about. I can throw it in my bag and not worry about it too much. It's super light, but the keys, I've got to be honest, are super pants to play, and that's been nice. We have a harp. The harp is a little bit of a different sound. It sounds like this. And the piano is lovely. I really like this. The thing about these sounds, the thing about the Mellotron, or about Mellowsound, oh, thank you, Audible, $5.99 US dollars. Dollars? What are dollars? Oh my god. $5.99 in US dollars. In euros, I think I got, yeah, I think I half said dollars and half said euros. I think that's what happened there. Stupid old hippie. $6.99 in euros for the in-app purchase, and so on and so on. Hello, Josh. Hello, Thomas. Thank you for joining me. Now, so where was I? Right, yes. So what occurred to me, particularly when I first played this piano sound, right? Lo-fi is now a genre, which is kind of curious but interesting, and I kind of like some of it. And people spend a lot of time and money on software to do this with, on making things sound old and crackly, or adding tape wobble to things. Right? Well, these sounds in this app are actually sampled from an actual Mellotron, the original sampler, and so these are kind of like genuine lo-fi sounds, and it sounds, to me, I just really dig the sound of it. So I just thought this might be of interest to quite a number of people. The church organ is lovely. Let's see if I can just do a little bit of Doug Wood style magic here. The answer to that would be no. Vibraphone, for if you're wanting to like make a theme tune for a kids TV show. Now this is an interesting one. Glockenspiel and voices. You get two sounds on one keyboard. So you've got Glock sounds, and then higher up you've got voices, right? That's pretty nice. We've got some guitar sounds. Guitar sounds on keyboards are always terribly disappointing, but at least these are kind of nice and curiously retro. $12-string guitar. Spanish guitar. Oh yeah, you get this little, see if you can hear it. This little kind of, what do you call it when you do that on the Spanish guitar? I can't remember. You know what I mean, right? And then two more sounds. We've got the male choir voice, which is wonderful. I really dig this. And the female choir voice, which is terribly disappointing, I have to say. Yeah. Right, okay, so in the standalone version of this app, we also have these features. We've got a master volume here. If you're using the on-screen keys, you can move up and down the keyboard with this nice slider here. Of all the various different interpretations of how to move up and down the octaves of a keyboard, I think I like this one best. That's pretty cool. We've got a tone control. A pitch wheel, which I'm not going to move. I virtually never touch pitch in any kind of keyboard or synth type app. Up here we have our MIDI options. You'll see here MPK Mini is highlighted because that's what I'm using. And all I had to do to activate it was when I put the app on, and I'd already got this switched on, right? It's kind of already plugged into the hub so the app could see it. And all I had to do was touch it and it came on, right? Marvellous. Hello, Russ. Thank you for joining us, sir. Love your new track. If anyone hasn't heard Russ's new track, go check it out. It's really marvellous. I listened to it and immediately put it on again and immediately put it on again, and then played it for the kids, right? The kids thought it was great. And that's high praise indeed, believe me. Right, now then you've got your MIDI options and stuff like that, and MIDI mapping and whatnot. Then you've got a metronome. Why do you have a metronome in the standalone app? Because if you do this, right, it gives you a metronome, then you can press record over here. Press stop on that, stop my metronome. You'll see I've got a little number popped up here in red, and if I press on there, here are things I've recorded. So if I press that, right, and now I've got one of those little icons. I don't know what they call it. I think they call it a share icon. That's what I call it anyway. The little share icon. If I press that, and now I could send it to a different app, or email it to someone, airdrop it somewhere, messenger it to somebody, etc, etc. So that's actually kind of useful, because when I first saw that I thought, well, what use is that? But actually, yeah, that's pretty cool. But I don't want to save that, so I'm going to bin that off. And then we have up here, we've got volumes for the different layers. We can pan the different layers that make up the sound. Volume for metronome, which we also have in here. No, we don't. Oh yeah, we do. Yeah, that's volume there, and that's tempo. And master, volume, and pan. We've got where you can pissy pants around with the envelope here. Now we'll push for time today, so I'm not going to pissy pants around with it, but there it is. And then we've got, I'm going to skip this for a little quick moment. Over here, the manual is marvelous. It goes into great detail about everything. It's very, very clearly set out, so that even a stupid hippie like me, who has difficulty reading things for more than a couple of sentences without kind of zoning out, can actually understand it. And then we've got an effects section. Now obviously, being true to the Mellotron, these are kind of bogus really, because the Mellotron wouldn't have these sounds, but you know, whatever, they sound good. So quickly, I'm just going to show you. The tube amp is the first doodah, and if we switch it on with this button at the top, and actually let me choose different sound for this. I'm going to go to the cello. Right, let's have a nice low sound, turn it up a bit, and then go back to tube amp. Now what I can do is I can add drive, or I can add distortion, or a bit of both. We've got a low gain and high gain. Let me take the high gain right down. Now what I've noticed with this is, if you play with the low gain, you will reach a point where, well, I'll show you. It's easier to show you than putting words. Like where it just becomes, ooh. I don't know how to describe it. You take it back a bit. And a little bit back from that point that makes you go, ooh, is usually where it sounds best. Then bring in the high gain. Now notice to these sounds there's a lot of background noise, and that's because they've been sampled from the real thing, which has a lot of background noise, right? So the background noise comes free. You don't need to buy one of those lo-fi apps that makes things sound old and sucky, right? You just, you have samples of the proper thing. We've got tremolo here, which is lovely. Frequency and depth and mix. I love pisspantsing around with tremolo. The delay is nice, although it doesn't sync to tempo as far as I can tell. I meant to check deeper into that, but I think I'm right in saying it doesn't sync to tempo. Russ says, interested in this app because it's in David Bowie's Space Oddity A mellotron, that is. Well, a melatonin, that is. Yes. And that has to be one of the most important recorded tracks of all time. For me, that would be like in my top 10 songs, I'm sure. David Bowie is massive inspiration for me. Yeah, so what was that about? I got distracted by Russ. Proper sucky sample, says audio video, but they sound great. Exactly. They sound old and like the real thing because they're sampled from the real thing. And I think that's like, well, for me, if I was going to make a lo-fi track, rather than taking a new synth and trying to make it sound old, maybe I'd take one that's sampled from an instrument that's sampled from an old instrument, right? I think that's, makes sense to me. So the delay does sound very nice. I seem to be doing a really good job of just making it sound terrible. I promise you it sounds nice, it's just me. Put a bit of volume back on it, that might help. Right, and the reverb is really lovely. I mean, it sounds really nice. I mean, it wouldn't be on a Mellotron, but who cares? It sounds great. Right, I'm going to shut that now, and I'm going to go over to AUM, and we're going to make a track. I'm going to try and do this real fast. So I'm going to try and keep an eye on the chat, but if I seem to be ignoring you, I'm just kind of determined to make something. And what I want to do is, you might have noticed that YouTube just recently started with that, what do they call it? Shorts videos, right? Where you can upload a maximum of 1 minute as video, and shorts are kind of separate from the regular videos that we upload. And yes, audible. So it's like okay, that's great. Well, what do I upload that's a minute long? So I thought, right, I'm gonna upload a track that's a minute long, and I'm gonna make it live in a stream. So whatever I've got when I finish today, I'm gonna upload. So let's try and make a good job of it. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to here, and no, I'm not going to press that. That's the wrong thing. Good start. I'm going to press MIDI, and I'm going to go and open Helium. Now, if I'm wanting a piano roll in AUM, I could use LK, I could use Atom 2, I could use Helium. There are other things as well. Those are the three main ones that I use. The reason I'm choosing Helium today is not because I think it's better than the others. It's because for me personally, it's the fastest workflow. It's the one that I kind of get on with quickest, right? And I want that to be over here. I like that to be over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that in a minute. I'll do this first. I'll go here and I'll open, thinking ahead. I'm going to open 2 instances of Mellotron. That's what I'm going to do, of Mellowsound rather. And let's have another one here. There we are. Right, now we need these to have different sounds, so I'm going to go here and put this on strings. Right, now normally if I'm in AUM, right, and I want to attach a keyboard to an app so that I can play it, I would go into my matrix and I would connect them up in here. But I'm not going to do that today. What I'm going to do is, let me just move my microphone out of there. Right, go to Helium, and no, don't go into Helium, go to the burger icon. Right, now I'm going to connect the MPK Mini to Helium. And now when I'm inside Helium, I forgot to do something. Connect my first instance of Mellowsound to Helium port 1 and make that MIDI channel 1. And then go to my second instance as burger icon, Helium port 1, and make that MIDI channel 2. So now when I'm in Helium, if anyone hasn't used Helium, basically here what I've got is a piano roll, but this is track 1 of the piano roll. If I go and press here where it says track 1, I can select any one of 16 tracks, and they're kind of on top of each other. So, and I can access all of those 16 different tracks from this button here. So while I'm on track 1, that's going to play the first instance of Mellowsound. And then if I go to track 2, now Helium's going to send out on MIDI channel 2, and I'm operating the other instance, right? So I just find that really, really useful and helpful and convenient. So let's just find a sound in this first instance here. So I'll need to be on track 1. Right, I'm going to go with a raw basic sound, record something, and then add some effects to it after to kind of tart it up a little bit. So let's go with, could I go an octave higher? Let's try this sound, the Glockenspiel and Voices thing. Go an octave higher. Okay, let's have 4 chords. We'll go Phrygian today. That'll do, bit of coffee. Okay. Now then, tempo. Let's see. I need to sync Helium to AUM, and let's just, I'm going to need a bit of a metronome going. Oh, that's a bit loud. Sorry about that. Let me just turn that down a bit for you. It might be the metronome actually that's making the iRig stream go into the red. There. Yeah, that's cool. I can still hear that. So that's a bit quick. Let's just bring that down. Something like there, maybe. Yeah, I'm comfortable with that. That's okay. We'll go with that for now. So I'm just going to throw in a few chords here. So I'm going to press record, and let's see how badly I can play this. Right, okay. The timing's not marvellous there. It's not terrible, it's not terrible. I've played worse, I promise you. Right, now in Helium I can go to select, press and hold, and select all. And then I can go to quantize, and let's see if we can snap it all to the bar. Let's see if we can do that. Quantize all notes. And that looks like it's done the right thing for me. Now everything is selected at the moment. While everything's selected, I'm going to drag these notes out a little bit. I want them to drag right to the end of the bar. Just make sure I've not made any of them too long by zooming in. Okay, I think they're alright. I think they're okay. We can always fix it later if it's a bit pants. Right, now I'm going to have these 4 chords just repeat, just loop round, right? So I'm going to go to select and select all. And then I'm going to go to clipboard and press duplicate, which should duplicate those chords immediately after the others. and that join seems to be correct. And I'm gonna go here and do that again. Right, now something I noticed about helium was if you press up here, you can switch between bars and beats and hours and minutes and seconds, right? So if you're wanting to make a piece of music for a specific length of time, then you can check how long it is by going up there. So if I just take sync off so that I can move my doodah to here, that's 58 seconds. So that's enough. That's great. And while I'm here, I'm just going to set up a loop, because I may need to loop round the whole lot of this while I'm trying to create this swiftly. So let's go there, right? And I think that's about right. So I'm going to put loop on and sync, and let's play that. We'll take that metronome off. Right. Don't want the tube amp on. I think I'd rather have it like that. Okay, now last night I was unable to watch Doug's stream, and I wanted to watch it because he was demonstrating an app that I need to do a video on. So there's nothing finer really than watching Doug demonstrate it first and make sure you know what you're on about before you do it. I've got the app, I haven't used it yet, but I did watch Doug's stream from last night this morning. So I have an idea what I'm doing with it, so I'm going to add it to this sound here, right? So we want I've got a lot of apps now. Spatializer, that's what it's called. Spatializer. There we are. Alright, now listen to this. That's quite nice, isn't it? Right. We'll try a few settings. Front and back seem to sound quite nice when Doug was using it. And I think you can change the scope. There we are. I really like it when the scope does this thing. Maybe try a couple more. Stage. Exactly, yeah. Space, the final frontier. Yeah, Audible. That's kind of... Hi Keith, thank you for being here. Thank you. Thanks for joining us. Maybe near field. I don't know, this is something I need to have more of a piss pants around with, but let's just surrounded. That might be a little much. Seems quite a lot in both cans. I like it a bit more separated. I think front and back was nice for that. I'm going to leave that at that for now, and I'm going to add an app that I recently did a video on that was quite popular. Well, for one of my videos. I mean, I don't get that many views really, but for one of my videos it was popular. And I was actually asked to contribute my presets from my video to the app, and they are now in the app, which is quite nice. So here's one of mine that's quite popular, right? It's a nice sound, but that's a little bit much, so we'll bring up the wet and dry. Might have overdone it a little. Okay, right, now, That's called Bathrooms of Mars, that preset. I'd love to tell you how I came up with the name, right? But I honestly can't remember. So now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to Helium. Let's just press stop for a moment. We'll go to Helium and we're going to go to select all, clipboard, copy the whole lot. Now I'm going to go over to track 2 and I'm going to paste that in there. Quick check to make sure it's pasted it in exactly the right place. Yes, it has. And what I'm going to do is try and get an arpeggio thing going on that piano. I really like the sound of that piano. So let's go in here and select piano. I've lost it. There it is. Make sure there's no, I don't want any effects on it or anything. And one thing I've noticed about Mellowsound is that when you set some effects up, or like the volume, tone, stuff like that, you change the sounds, none of that changes, right? So it's not like when you change the sounds, those things reset or anything. They remain as you just left them. So it's worth bearing in mind. So piano, and then I'm just going to mute this one. Go to Helium, and let's just make sure that that's coming through. It's missed the first one. Why has it missed the first one? Okay, well, maybe it was just feeling, you know, a little Bathrooms of Mars, okay, the alien. Yeah, I don't know why it missed that first one. Let's see if it hits it when it loops round. Okay, so now this is now in the same frequency as this, and I don't want that. So whilst everything is selected, I'm going to press this button over here, and that's going to take all of that down a whole octave. Now it might sound like that's all a little bit low now, but you'll see where I'm going with this in a moment. What I'm going to do is I'm going to unattach that piano from Helium and create another node here, and I'm going to add Brambos's Rosetta Arpeggio. Now let me just get this the right way around. So Rosetta Arpeggio needs to be listening to Helium port 1 on MIDI channel 2, and now Mellowsound needs to be listening to Rosetta Arpeggio, and no sound is coming through because Rosetta Arpeggio is on MIDI channel 1, so I need to change it. There we are. Right. Okay, so just to recap that, what I've done is basically put the arpeggiator in between Helium and Mellowsound. It's just a case of thinking the routing of that through logically and methodically. So let's turn that back up. Stupid hippie. Right, so that's a bit busy and quick. Let's slow that down. Right, okay, so now I've got this arpeggio thing going through 2 octaves. I'd like 3, but there's not that many octaves worth to the sounds in Mellowsound, and I presume that's because it's sampled from Mellotron and that's all it has. I don't know, I don't have one and I've never actually played one. I've witnessed one being played, but a long time ago. So what I'm going to do is go to mutate, and I'm going to make it mutate the maximum amount it will. So now it's going to be like way more random and hopefully more interesting. To this sound, I'm going to add something. I'm feeling a shimmer, but I'm also feeling black hole. Right. I'm going to use an app that I haven't done a video on. And I kept meaning to. It's just, you know, there's so much time. There's a lot of apps. So, if you don't have this, this is Numbrini's Shimmer Delay. And I really like it. I do really like it, but I don't use the front section of it. The front section of it is a little temperamental. This section is the section that's supposed to make the echoes fade in, and when you switch it on, it uses a lot of CPU and it's unreliable. But the rest of it is so marvelous that I still love the app. So I'll just talk you through this actually. This section here is kind of the basic delay section. This is the shimmer section. In the middle here, this creates a lower note. I'll show you that, but then I'm going to shut it off because I don't want that lower note, because I'm hoping I have time to put in some kind of bass line. So I'll take the level of that down for the moment and the level of the shimmer. Let's find a delay we like first job. I don't want any high cut on because I want this to really have plenty of clarity and cut through. We use a little low cut to help with that. I want as many feedbacks as I can get away with. It sounds a little over the top, to be honest, but you know. Right, so when I bring in the lower note, I'll just show you this. Bring up the level of it. It does sound gorgeous. I mean, how nice is that? Sounds wonderful. If I don't have time to do a bass line, I'll put it back in. Right, so turn the level down on that. Now I want some level on my shimmer. You can make the shimmer distort slightly. If you overdo it, well, it gets really distorted, what can I say? So apply that to taste, and let's see if we can get it to regenerate a little more without it being too over the top. Okay, let's see what that's like with this. That's quite pleasant, isn't it? I'm quite liking that. Not the kind of track people would normally expect me to make, but I think what's happening at the beginning of this track is, for some reason, the transport is missing the first chord for the arpeggio, and I think that when I play it from zero, it probably will catch it. Yeah, so it's not catching it on the loop, but I don't need the loop once the track's actually finished because I only need a minute, right? So I'm going to mute that one again. I'm going to add some black hole here. I mean, we've got that much going on with the shimmer there, with the shimmer delay. Black hole might seem a little bit much, but let's just see if we can, because, you know, it's difficult to make black hole sound bad. I mean, even the like default sound just sounds magic. Let's add a little high, take a little low out, let's sync it. Maybe a little less in the mix. I mean, what does this have different from the rest of the shimmer delays, says Keith. Well, shimmers actually recently, sort of a couple of years ago, there seemed to be a bit of an obsession with shimmers. Shimmer reverbs, though. There were quite a lot came out in a short space of time, and to be honest, most of them are really marvelous and sound wonderful. But it was reverbs, and this is the only shimmer delay that I have, I think, as far as I can remember. So that really is the difference, is that shimmer section's been bolted onto the delay rather than a reverb. Now, if you were asking me about shimmer reverbs and what's the difference between them, it's actually very, very hard to say which ones are the best. I mean, to choose between the Eventide one or to choose between, say, Bliss as shimmer reverb, I mean, that would keep me up at night. They're both that good, but there's loads of others too. So yeah, that's the difference, Keith, is that this one is bolted to a delay, which is a nice thing. I ran out of words, sorry. Yeah, it is a great effect. I really, really enjoy playing with it. All right, so we've got some sound, right? I think that sounds quite pleasant so far. Let me know what you think. I think it's pretty good. I'm quite happy with it so far. So what I need now is I want another Mellowsound. I'm keeping an eye on the DSP up here. At the moment I'm at 30%, which this is an iPad 6th gen basic iPad. It's 4 years old. It's, you know, I mean, it's well past it, to be honest, but it's what I have. So it's not doing bad at all. To say that reverbs and delays are very, very hard on DSP. You will notice that when I talk, I completely forget what I'm doing. There we go. We want another Mellowsound. And I'm gonna straight away put this to Helium port 1, MIDI channel 3, and you're trying to avoid the App Store, Keith. yeah, I know the feeling. Right, so let's see now. I'm going to just mute these two. I want to see if I can find a bass type of a sound. Something low, something quite strong. And you might think, well, Mellowsound doesn't really have sounds like that. But let's see what we can do. So if I go to Helium and put myself on MIDI track 3, now my MPK should be playing this Mellowsound rather. Now let's just octave down and find the lowest note. The lowest note that it plays is this G. Maybe cello. Yeah, I could see that being, yeah. The organ low end. What's the low end of the guitar like? Maybe we should, maybe just low male choir notes. Let's see what we can do with the effects in here with the tube amp. I'm just going to take the volume of this down because I'm aware that the tube amp does really crank up that volume. The drive's pretty high already. Maybe add a little distortion, a little low gain. It's getting a little loud. What about the tuba? Audible. It's not got a tuba, dude. It's Stop being obtuse. Now, yeah, let's try that. Let's stick with what we like volume wise. Right. Go here. And let's see if we can record something that doesn't do. Where it says track and hold my finger on it, I can press this, which will give me a ghost track. So I can see, I can choose one of the other piano rolls so that I can see it in a sort of a faded grey in the background. So I can, you know, kind of, it gives me an idea of where I am in the track and stuff. Just thought I'd show you that. Let's press record and let's just see if we can play something that's not terrible. I've left them muted and I've not left them muted. I've just noticed something. That's not recording well because I've got quantize on. So let's just select all and we'll just get rid of all that and just take quantize off. Or maybe I should just leave it on like 16 or so. I'm not sure. I'll just leave it off. And we'll try that again. Especially now that I've put myself a metronome on. Hi Jade. You may just be in time to hear a really, really sucky bit of playing. Let's see. I'll have to leave this here because I want a low F and there's no low F. I'll go to a high one here. Right, and that'll be the end of the track. Take metronome off. And take record off, I think. Let's just have a quick listen to this. Slightly out of time. They're all slightly early. I'm a bit prem every time. Here we'll have a little pause because there's no low F on the on Mellowsound there. Alright, okay, so, you know, that's not terrible apart from being slightly out of time. I can correct that later. What about if we... What shall I do? Shall I throw drums on this or shall I play with the bass sound? What about quickly throw some beef on? Let's just quickly throw one of my presets onto that bass. Artist, me, dirty warm finger. That's got to be the thing, right? Oh, right. Bit of reverb on that, maybe. I know what to put on there. this doesn't sync to track, so. But the reverb on it is gorgeous. Let's see if I can. It's a bit quick. That's too slow. That might be. Right, and then he said with 9 minutes to go. Who makes drum computer? Sugarbox, right. I can't remember which one of these I like. There's a few that I like, but there's one in particular I think I've used these before. Oh! Apologies. Not that one. That's it, that's it, that's it. So reverb tail up on those drums. Right, okay, I've only got a few minutes left. Something that occurs to me as soon as we're actually, let me just attach drum computer to Helium on MIDI channel 4, and then I'm going to just go into Helium and put myself on the 4th piano roll. In drum computer, let's just solo drum computer. In drum computer you can trigger loops with MIDI notes, and I need to be on this page here. If I just octave down there, right, see that note there, that triggers pattern 1, 2, 3. So let's just play these patterns. Right, I'm liking the 3rd one, and that for a little break. So let's go record. Let's go and record these notes to trigger these patterns. Now I realise I'm rushing through this because I don't have an awful lot of time left, right? So if I'm touching on here, on anything that you'd like explained better, or you'd like me to go into in more depth, just like comment below this video or contact me. That's on whatever platform you like. I'm on all of them. Just contact me and tell me, and I will follow up on it. Okay, so if I go into Helium now and record, I should be able to trigger these loops where I want them. And I notice there's nothing on this one up here, so I'm going to use that as a start point, so it starts with no drums. Alright, so they want to come in here, I think. And then we want the other one for the where there's no bass note, and then back in with this one. And then I'll press this one at the end to switch off the drum loop. Set record off. Okay, right then, so other than maybe tidying up a couple of little bits of MIDI and maybe slightly adjusting some of those effects I've got on there, I think I've got a minute's worth of a track there that I could upload as a YouTube short. So let me know in the chat. We've got a couple of minutes left. What do you think? Shall I upload that, or is it too sucky? And whilst we've got a couple of minutes left, is there anything that I've touched on today that you'd like me, not now because there's no time left, but that you'd like me to touch on further? And having heard Mellowsound and seen it explored a little bit in more detail, is there anyone who's decided to go and buy the in-app purchase for it? And while I'm waiting for you to reply, I'm just going to say hi to anyone who I've not said hello to yet. Oh, what's Jade saying? Speaking of Helium, Paul just dropped an update on the beta making Helium work now on iPhone. Oh, really? Oh, that's fantastic news, Jade. Thank you for letting me know that. I'm not on the beta. Maybe I should ask Paul if I could be on that. The melody would be perfect for a mellow bass solo. Actually, yeah. I could see that. Yeah. So yes, hi Fretless. Thank you for being here. I did notice you pop up while I was busy stressing over whether I was actually going to run out of time there. Be jamming since birth. Thank you for being here. And Ground Source Music. Hi. I don't think I've missed anyone, but if I have, my sincerest apologies. Right. So Audible has got Mellowsound. Yeah, is that what you're saying? Yeah, you've got Mellowsound. Hey Daniel, you are a tiny bit late because I'm just about to say thank you for watching, and yeah, thank you for joining me. That's kind of it. So I'm gonna say thank you very, very much for being here. I haven't streamed for a couple of months, and it's really, really nice to be back. I love doing it, and I really, really miss doing it. It's just life, and the fact that it's been so difficult when I do have a little bit of time when I could do it to try to not clash with anyone. And I had time this evening that actually clashed with both Mobile Music Pro and with Jacob, and I feel terrible actually about still streaming and going ahead with it, because I really didn't want to do that. But it was like if I didn't do it tonight, I wasn't going to be able to do it. So thank you for watching. I'm going to play you out with the track. Thank you for being here. If there is anyone who would like to hear any more detail about anything I've touched on today, let me know and I will cover it in a video. I'm going to play it with the track and see you later. And don't piss your pants about.